Hi guys. Okay, so I want to do a video sharing my personal testimony of how I personally came into the acknowledgement of who Jesus Christ is. Fix my camera. I've shared this like a few times, like especially face to face conversations, and I think I've done it like when I used to do a lot of lives on Instagram. But if I could be honest with you, I was asleep and this idea came to me in a dream, and I really put it on the back burner. And I was like, God, I need to make sure this is you, because one thing I learned in 2023 is just because I get an idea doesn't mean it's a God idea, or just because a thought comes to my mind, it doesn't always mean like it's from God. So I just put it on the back burner. And I was like, Lord, if this is you, then you gotta let me know, because I don't want to do it, if it's not gonna help people. So, and then this is when I tell y'all I put this on the back burner, I ain't think nothing of it, and it'll keep on popping up like at random times in my mind. I'm like, and it's like I'm having a conversation with myself. That's what made me be like, you know what? Let me like really sit down and see if this is from God. And I was reading some scriptures this morning, and Revelations came up, and he said, and we overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. And then I was like, oh snap, it started coming up as like, okay, this is something I have to do. Okay, don't forget to do this. It wasn't no more me thinking like, God, you sure this is from you or whatever. So I was like, what harm can it be if I share my testimony? So I want to do that. And so let's just get right into it, because I don't want this to be long-winded. So I just want to let y'all know, like, I was always raised, like, I was raised in a Christian home. I wasn't brought up, like, in the world. All of my family members, well, majority of my family members, my intermediate family, they're saved. And, we went to church, like, especially when I was younger, we went to church, like, almost Sunday. Like, it was something serious for us to do. When I got, like, in the 9th grade, my mom moved, and I moved with my mom, and we were kind of looking for a church home, because let me tell y'all something. We were brought up in a 4-wall church. We were always part of the body of Christ, because I want to make sure I get that understood. Like, we always was in the body of Christ, but the community, the Christian community, 4-wall church, we were looking for like a church home at that time. And we were kind of driving like 45 minutes to go to church. And if I could be real with you, we would go. At that time, we would just go, and it would be like something we check off the box or whatever. So fast forward to me getting in college. And I just want to give like an overview of me when I was younger. Like, I believe I was a pretty decent child. I was just brought up not to take no mess. Like, I'm real big on like nobody disrespecting me. I'm saved now, so of course, I practice like turning the other cheek, and if somebody like offend me or like try to come at me wrong, I go to God in prayer. Well, back then, I was real big on talking with my hands. Because I'm like, if there's a problem, what does it matter us going back and forth? Why are we arguing? Let's just fight. That was just the mentality that I had at the time. So from 6th grade, clean on up to 11th grade, I got into a fight in school every year. And not because I wanted to. It's because, like I'm telling you, people would mess with me. And for some reason, in the world, they're taught that if somebody mess with you, you just supposed to let them mess with you. No, if you mess with me, that means you want to fight. So, okay, let's fight. At least that's what I used to think. So anyways, fast forward up to, I want to say, what year? A sophomore. I'm a sophomore in college. Because keep in mind, I'm brought up in a Christian home or whatever. Like, we go to church and stuff. But that personal relationship, it wasn't there. Like, I didn't know Jesus Christ for myself. I really wasn't reading my Bible. And so I remember when I was sophomore in college, I was kind of like to myself. 9th grade year, I was kind of sheltered. But my sophomore year in college, I remember me and my boyfriend at the time, we had broken up. And this is my high school boyfriend. We had broken up. I'm like, listen, I'm finna turn up. Let's see what's out there. Because every time I link up with somebody, they always talking about, girl, you were brought up sheltered. And I'm like, what that mean? So, all right, let's see what the world is about. And so when I tell y'all my sophomore year, I went in. Like, baby girl left no crumbs. And so And no matter like who I hung with in any or whatever group I was part of, they will always be like, nah, it's just something about you, you know. It's like I will always stick out like a sore thumb. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I hung with the bougie girls, the luxury girls or whatever, and I would stick out like a sore thumb. They would try to tell me that I'm too hood, then I go with the hood crew, and they'll be like, nah, you too bougie or whatever. And they always tell me like, this ain't for you, you know, this, that. I mean, I tried the clubbing thing. I tried the weed. Like, when I tell y'all, weed had me in a chokehold in college. Like, it had me by my shirts, okay? Because it was just so calming and relaxing. And if I could be real transparent with y'all, the only reason I don't smoke weed is because I know it goes against God. One girl said that she don't smoke weed because she knows it's against the law and God isn't pleased with it. I don't know what Bible you reading. Me personally, I don't smoke weed because I know it goes against God, because he tells us to have a sober mind. And most people only attach that scripture to alcohol. But when you smoke a weed, especially a blunt or any type of drug, you get high. You're not operating with a sober mind anymore. You don't know how that blunt gonna hit you when you pull that thing back. So, yeah. But anyways, that's a different type of topic for another day. So anyways, I remember I'm turning up in my sophomore year, y'all. When I tell y'all, like, I used to take shots. Like, I was... Like, if a dude was feeling me, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Especially after me and my high school boyfriend had broken up, I was like, relationship, what? No. You kind of cute. What's up? Let's talk. This ain't gotta be serious. I was like that. I was out there. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I remember I was in my dorm room kicking it with a group of girls, and I just remember this idea had come to my mind. This is why I told y'all, just because you get an idea doesn't mean it's a God idea. This thought came to my mind. I was like, what if I start a tour of me trying to find the biggest penis? That would be like a lit tour. I really do believe I could make some good money. It could be popular. I'm so glad God snatched me up. Oh my gosh. Anyways. But that was the mindset that I was on. I was just like, get this bread. Nobody cares. Feelings in my back pocket. And I was really hurt, if I could be real with y'all. I was really kind of like, I was definitely hurt. I was definitely battling with rejection, low self-esteem. And I kind of like hid that behind like me showing my body, giving my body, and things like that. So this is me my sophomore year. Of course, a lot happened, and I'll probably do like videos in between that, but just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to fast forward up to my senior year in college, because this is when I actually encountered Jesus Christ. So I remember my senior year in college, I did my last semester outside of Memphis. I did my last semester actually at MTSU, and I just remember me just wanting a complete fresh start. Like, a lot of stuff had happened with some people I was kicking it with in Memphis, and I was like, I don't want to be around these folks. I don't want to be on campus. I don't want to see these folks. Like, I'm just over it. And I really had a desire to like move to Nashville, because that's what a lot of people in Memphis do. They just move to Nashville because it's a big city, but it's still down south, and you're not too far from your family or whatever. So I was like, boom, I could do my last semester at MTSU, give me a job, and just move to Nashville, and I can just come and visit my family on the weekend. Their drive is not too bad or whatever. So I had my own little plan right now. And at this moment, I'm just focused on graduating, getting my money, and going on. So I did my last semester at MTSU. Y'all, when I tell y'all, that was the lowest moment of my life. Those 3 months, because I think a semester is about 3 months. I don't know. Let me see. May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Well, 4 months, because you graduated at the beginning of December. Those 4 months were like the lowest of my life. Like, remember I told you I was already battling like rejection, low self-esteem, and insecurities and stuff like that. I don't know what's out there in Murfreesboro, because I wasn't like in my Bible. And get this, y'all, like, I believe I was a Christian at the time, because I would do stuff, but I ain't never do stuff like some people would do stuff. So I would look at myself and be like, okay, I'm more saved than they are or whatever. Man, oh my goodness. Y'all, some of the stuff I saw when I was out there, I'd be like, God, is this real? All I just know is I feel so low. I feel so horrible. I stayed getting sick out there. And I really do think it's like something over that region. it was always sick people. It was a lot of racism out there. Like, I never had any racist encounters. And keep in mind, like, in Memphis is known for where Dr. Martin Luther King got shot at. I never, like, really dealt with any racism stuff, like how blunt and in your face it was in mine when I was in Nashville. Bro, I'm saying Nashville, but really Murfreesboro is 30 minutes outside of Nashville. It's like a little reserved town, but Nashville, Murfreesboro, all the same principality. You feel me? Anyways, I'm telling you, people will always get sick. I would stay getting sick, and it's stuff like I would never expect to happen, y'all. When I tell y'all, like, I got so low. I don't know what it was. It was like something was over me. I started just really rethinking my life. When I tell y'all, I never got into that wine Wednesday. I started drinking throughout the week. Like, don't talk to me unless I had a blunt. That's like, don't talk to me. I had to hit the blunt. I would be fiending for a blunt because I'd be like, I got to get out this. So I ended up breaking my lease because some stuff happened. I don't know if I should tell y'all. It's part of the testimony. I'm going to just be real. I'm going to be real transparent. So, boom. I had made up in my mind that I was going to break my lease because me and my roommates wasn't getting along at the time. Like, have y'all ever met a female who they will be, y'all in the house together. In your face, she nice and friendly. You go in your room, she go in her room, and now they sub to you. Like, And I remember going over to the girl room and I was like, are you talking about me? She was like, oh, no, it's just some misunderstanding. I was like, oh, okay. Shut the door. I go back to my room. She said, and she get on Twitter and say, yeah, that's what I thought. You already knew I was talking about you. I was like, something wrong with this girl mind. But remember, I told y'all at the beginning, I was on that mentality, like, I'm not with that back and forth. You want to fight, you can fight. So, boom. I ended up making up my mind that I'm going to break my lease because I'm going to break my lease. I'm going to break her jaw. And so I just remember, I was like, I got to go back home because there's something over here. I don't feel good. I wasn't making no money. None of the places in Nashville wanted to hire me. And if they wanted to hire me, they wanted to pay me below the type of money that I was making in Memphis before the degree. Like, I just feel like if you get a degree, money should go up. They wasn't honoring their degree. They didn't care. They want you to start in the mud. And I was like, oh, no, I can already tell what this is. Let me take myself back to Memphis. So I had humbled myself and I broke my lease. My mama paid $1,000 for me to break my lease. And if I could be real, I did not want to move back home with my mom because at that time, everybody was like, you're not grown unless you got your own spot. Boo, girl, anyways. Humble myself, move back home with my mom. And before I was while I was in the process of, like, moving out, me and my roommate, we got into the one I told y'all that was sub between me. I was like, I'm finna go. Let's lay it all out on the table. Let's go. Give me my 30 seconds real quick. So we ended up getting into some stuff, going back and forth on Twitter, like getting into a Twitter argument or whatever. And at this time, I was there in Memphis. I had moved majority of my stuff back home. I pretty much cleaned out my apartment. So she, in my mind, I'm thinking like she thinks she could talk real tough now because she feel like she 2.5 hours away. I can't touch her. I remember kicking it with this girl. We got so freaking high. I said, I bet you won't ride with me down here to run down on this girl. She said, shoot, how come I won't? You my friend, let's go. You got to be mindful of who the folks you hang with. Because and I'm not blaming her because I could think for myself, but anytime I find myself like, and I'm real big on this now, anytime I find myself like acting in the flesh, anybody that's around me, I expect you to put me in my place. I expect you to like correct me, reprove me or whatever. Some people feel like they don't say it, but I'm expecting you to be that. Do that if I call you my friend. But at the time, I was hanging with a different type of group or whatever. And I remember us literally hopping in the car and driving down there. 2.5 hours, y'all. We was vibing. We was excited to go beat this girl or whatever. And I remember telling this guy, I said, no matter what, you keep this camera rolling because I'm finna put this on Twitter because she ain't never gonna say nothing to me. I'm finna drag this girl. And I'm gonna be real with you. I had some pent up aggression. I told you I was going through a lot. So whoever I was gonna fight, they was gonna feel all this. They was gonna feel all of this. We get out there, and I show her the picture of the girl because I was like, I want you to know who to drag out the house because I know if I'm at the door, they're not going to answer the door. I want you to just knock on the door and ask for some help or something. And then when she open the door, I want you to drag her out the house, let her loose, and we're going to go out around, and we're going to go about our day. So I show her the girl Instagram, and she got distracted by the girl's shoes. She wanted this girl had on a pair of Giuseppe's in her shoes. And she was like, oh, dang, I could get there. And I was like, hold on, bruh. Stay focused. I was like, after I beat her, I don't care what you do. Your main mission is to bring her out the house. So, boom. We pulling up. And I should have known something was up with the girl because she was like, here, let's put on ski mask. I'm like, ski mask for a fight? I don't care. I was like, it's whatever. She was like, nah, let's put on a ski mask. And she was like, we're going to need some weapons. I'm like, for a fight? I don't think we need that. And you know, at this point, we all hot. I'm hot, right? And so I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do. I was like, but I don't believe in using weapons. I'm just use my hands. How I go, it go. Or whatever. So, boom. She was like, keep in mind, it's an apartment complex, y'all. So where I parked it, she want us to walk with masks on, with like in this attire or whatever, with weapons, and in the thing, and just walk in there and knock on the door like they gonna let us in. That was so stupid. I was like, girl, this is too much. Why are we crawling in an open sidewalk for nobody to hear us? For like nobody can't see us. I was like, no, I'm finna take this stuff off. Just go get the girl at the house. Just be like, hey, can you help me or whatever? So boom. She knocked on the door. I think she had knocked on the door and they didn't answer or whatever. They was there because she said she heard them talking. All I just know is she ended up in the apartment. I'm going to just fast forward because this video getting long. Long story short, she ended up in the apartment. So I was like, I bet. She texted me. She said, come on. I was like, I bet. Let's do this. I remember I parked the car. I'm going up the stairs, y'all. And this might sound crazy, but I used to pray before I fall. I used to be like, God, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but you already know what's up with me. This girl really trying me. I gotta put an end to this. So please forgive me and help me get to and from my destination safely and give me the strength I need to beat this girl. In Jesus' name I pray, man. That was the type of prayer I ran. Y'all, I get on that. I think I get on the second to last stair and I hear this girl saying, give me your phone. Put your face on the floor. I said, what? That's not the plan. You're not sticking to the plan. So I get to that last step and I say, God, what is this stupid girl in here doing, Lord? I can't go in there because I know if I go in there, they know my face. Did I forget to mention y'all that baby girl always kept that 38 on her? She was in there robbing them folks when I told her to bring the girl out just so I could pop, just one to her real quick. So I literally, like, my whole mindset, I said, oh my goodness, God, please help me. What should I do? And it's like I just froze. And I'm telling y'all probably won't believe me, but God literally told me what to do. He said, do not go in there. You go in there, they're going to see your face. You going to go to jail. So I was like, okay, God, what should I do? Go back to the car. So boom, I go back to the car and I'm like, oh my goodness, God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, God, I'm so sorry. What are we doing? I'm sorry, God, for driving out here to fight her. I know this don't please you. And then next thing you know, I see this girl dash out the house. She knocking up. She like running. With her mind, she thinks she running. She not running. I'm blowing the horn like, stupid, get in the car. Get in the car. And she finally get in the car. She's like, go, go, go. Hurry up, go, go, go. And I'm like, what was you doing in here? I can't concentrate around a lot of noise. I was like, shut up. Girl, shut the F up with your stupid. Like, I'm roasting her. And so, boom, we going out the gate. Guess who we see at the gate, y'all? The police. But let me tell y'all, this how I knew God was on my side. Even in wrong. Like, I admit, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. Let me tell y'all how merciful God is. We came through the gate originally. We came through the gate. Somehow, the gate was... No, we came through the gate because the gate was broken. It was open. Somehow, that small amount of time we were back there, because we were back there for about an hour, that gate closed. And if you did not have a passcode, you couldn't get in. Listen to what I said again. When I came through there, because I had already broken my lease, my code didn't work no more. When I had originally come through there, the gate was open. It was broke. The gate stayed open, stayed broke from time to time. So if it was already open, people could just drive in and drive out. By the grace of God, the gate closed. And the police, apparently, she said the girl had called the police, called her mom or whatever. The police was coming. They got stuck at the other gate, like the visitor gate, because you got to buzz yourself in as a visitor gate. So they were sitting there, and we drove right past them. And she was like, oh, be cool, be cool. I want to get that girl that backhand so big. And I was like, bro, just chill. I was like, what the heck? And she telling me what was going on. And so she started telling me her original plan. Girl, I was so fire hot mad at this girl. I'm like, girl, you was so stupid. We was just going there to fight the girl, not rob the girl. She was like, I wanted to go through her trunk. She had some wigs. She had some shoes. That's why to this day, I do not fool with money hungry people. That when they say like it's always like when they always say like it's a dumb one out the group that get people arrested. She was that dumb one. She was definitely that dumb one. Because like if it wasn't for the grace of God, I would definitely be in jail. Whew. She already knew I was gonna cut her tail off. Cause I ain't doing time for nobody. A little tail whooping never hurt nobody, but aggravated robbery, aggravated assault, girl, you was on your own. You was dumb. What is you doing? So boom, we drive back home, and I'm just rethinking my whole life. Like, God, this girl is so stupid. I'm just being real with y'all. I was thinking to myself, this girl is so stupid. Boom, get back to Memphis. I drop off at her car. She was like, yeah, girl, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, okay. And she said, call me now. You know, when folks start talking like that, they already know you ain't finna call her. I did not kick it with this girl no more after that. Like, when I tell you, I kept my conversation short until, like, we just drifted off and I didn't want to kick it with her no more. I remember her playing on my phone one time, trying to act like she was a private investigator because she was trying to pretend, like, she thought this was a joke. I'm like, girl, you was stupid. We can go to jail. What the heck? We could have gone to jail. What the heck, bro? So, long story short, all I just know that girl didn't say nothing else about me on Twitter. Amen. But after that, I cut Miss Girl off. And I really started rethinking my life. I wanted to get saved for real because that was like just kind of scary for me. I don't mind fighting. Well, I used to not mind fighting, but going to jail is not for me. I do not want no paperwork on me. So I remember I was so low, y'all. Like so low. I had graduated December. After that, this was January. We're going into the new year. And you know, like New Year, people like do New Year's resolutions or whatever. I was just so happy. I was like, I'm just gonna focus on getting some money because let me tell y'all how low I was at this point. Remember I told y'all that I broke my lease and my mama had to pay for me to break my lease. When I tell y'all I was so broke, like broke in half, okay? I was so broke. I remember I had my degree. I graduated in December. I had my degree, and apparently, like, the corporations, at least in my field of study at the time, they had opened up the jobs for all of the May graduates. They didn't do anything for the December graduates or whatever. So here I was working at Hertz as a counter clerk for $7.20. I only think it was $7.25 an hour with an accounting degree. Do you know how low I felt? I was like, I got this degree that everybody said once you graduate, you're going to be making so much money. And here I am struggling to pay my car note. Like, I remember the amount of hours I was working. I stayed outside of Memphis, so I had to drive like 45 minutes to the airport every day. So the amount of gas that I was spending to go to my job, that was my paycheck. But even then, let me tell y'all how good God is. He showed me favor. Because this lady, the manager who hired me, she said, I don't know who you are, but it's just something about you. She said, I want to let you know God is going to do a great, you know, how they always say, God is going to do a great work in your life. But for some reason, I actually believed this lady. I was like, oh, wow, really? At the lowest of the lowest, I'm still smoking weed and everything because I had to cope with what was going on with life, all right? So I'm smoking weed. And I just remember there was this job posting for Enterprise on a car. And I remember praying to God that I get this job. Only thing about it is they had, for the application, they up and told me that I had to do a drug test. Y'all, when I say y'all, I was hitting backwoods on a daily. I was so nervous when I got the call for the job to go and do a drug test. Let me tell y'all, I don't care what y'all say. This was God rocking with me, showing me mercy. It was this dude named Randy that I worked with at Hertz. And Randy was so cool, bro. It's just certain people how God, like, placed in my life. Certain people I will meet all throughout my life. Even at the lowest of the lowest. Even when I wasn't even, like, even when I was against God, I wasn't living for God. Because there's no like to it. I wasn't living for God, okay? Period. I was still doing what I wanted to do in the world. Broken, knowing I needed somebody or something to save me. I just wasn't looking fully to Christ, okay? I would still pray. I make sure I say my prayers before I went to bed, but that was about it. Might read the Bible, at least one chapter, but that was about it. I remember going to the drug place and I'm texting Randy. I was like, bro, these folks done hit me with you got to give a drug test. Long story short, just know Randy came through for you, girl. Randy came and gave me some pee. Some clear pee, some clean pee. Because I think his boyfriend, yes, Randy was gay. I think his boyfriend didn't smoke weed or something. So all I just know is Randy came in and gave me some pee. And, ooh, y'all, I got to give y'all another story. This just got to be another video on how that worked out. Because when I say y'all, God came through for me, I got the job. And I was so happy. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I remember just like this, I was driving from the neighborhood Walmart. And I remember reading my email. And they was like, congratulations, you got the job. I was like, thank you, Jesus. I'm finally going to be making me some money. Y'all made some good money in Enterprise too. I was rolling. I was in my bag. And still, I was broken, though. Because now, the money didn't change the situation. I just had more, what I'm trying to say. I just had more resources that I could do more what I was already doing, which was mainly popping cat and smoking weed. So I started popping cat and smoking more weed because I had the funds to really like buy my weed now. So I'm like turned up. But one thing I love is that God had me move back home with my mom. He had me break my lease and I moved back home with my mom. And I will always, no matter what I would do and turn up, I would never bring it into my mama's house. It was a different type of conviction that I had. I would not stay out late, and I would never, like, smoke weed in my mama's house or in my mama's house. Supposed to be talking about how they smoke weed in their parents' house, and I was like, oh, y'all crazy. I couldn't do it. So, yeah. I just thank God for that because, anytime my mama was home, I'd be like, dang, I can't smoke today. It'll be, like, stuff like that. I'll be so happy when I go out. I didn't want my car smelling like weed. Eventually, I did start, like, hotboxing in my car. But I try to do it in a way like where the scent won't be traced or anything. I used to hate when my mom would extra bar in my car because I'm like, oh no, I gotta clean out my car. I don't want it to smell like weed. So much stress. But anyways, now we get into the part where I'm getting saved for real. So I remember what happened after that whole scenario with Murfreesboro. I'm like beyond scared straight. That happened in December. Fast forward up to February, I'm working for Enterprise. And then March comes around and I'm just like, I'm making all this money. And I mean, I'm making good money, y'all. I'm like, I'm making all this money, but I just feel so empty. I feel so broken. Anytime I would get high, I would just want to cry. I'd be thinking about my life. Anytime I thought I had sex, I just be feeling so disgusting or something. So I just remember, I know what happened. Okay, boom. I just remember going to God. I went to God. Long story short, this is a long video. I'm just gonna get straight to the point because this video is getting kind of long. Long story short, I'm at a peak at Enterprise or whatever. I'm at a peak in Enterprise. I started in February of 2018. I want to say like March of 2019. So after about a year of working there, and how Enterprise work is like you start off as a management trainee, but you go through different levels. And when I tell y'all, they pay y'all. They gonna pay you good, but they gonna work you like a Hebrew slave. So I was doing so good at my original starting point that they had bumped me up to a different location, which was the airport. Now, anybody who work for Enterprise know, like, you could make some real good money at the airport because businesses come through and you get paid, like, you get a base pay, but you also get bonuses or whatever. And they had, like, an incentive program. And I don't know how, but nothing but the grace of God, how I will be at the top of that list. And folks hated me. Ooh, they hated me. I came in at number 3. I started off at number 3. Then I got the number 2. It was another black girl who was always number 1, and they hated her. They would be rooting for me because they wanted me to take her spot. But let me tell y'all something. Them same people who be clapping for you will be the same folks who try to put their foot on your neck. Came in at number 3. I got to spot number 2, and boom, I finally got to spot number 1. The hate was so real. I hated it there. I hated working with them white folks. Them people hated me, and I'm telling you, they didn't hide it. They didn't hide it. And the black folks that was there too, they did not like me. Like, folks be plotting on me. These were the type of people who, it was a crab in a barrel mentality. Like, they would put all the best people at their stores in that one place. And then they wanted us all to, like, step on each other to get to the top. Me, I ain't never been like that. In the world or saved. I ain't never been into that, for real. So, I just remember it got to a place where the place just got too toxic. I hated it. He ended up, the white area manager ended up transferring me to another branch location. And let me just be very clear. My time at Enterprise, I definitely saw like, what's it called? I definitely saw like how management showed a certain race like better treatment. Not saying all stores are like this, but I'm telling you my personal experience. Those folks was definitely prejudiced. Definitely prejudiced. I really think some of them kind of racist. They just hit it very well. This is my personal experience. This is just me telling y'all what I experienced. I saw like the different treatment of how, like, if a black employee did something versus a white employee. You get what I'm saying? And all management was white, so, or maybe they just related to themselves better. I don't know. But all I just know, it was just so racist. I was like, y'all prejudiced. I was like, y'all not doing it right. That's not fair. Like, let it be fair treatment across the board. I will always say that. Them folks hated me. You hear me? Area manager. Oh, and then listen, they could never put me on paper. They used to be so excited to write people up and stuff like that. They could never catch me on paper by the grace of God. They could never put no paperwork on me. I remember this one, I had one manager, he was white. I can't remember this dude's name, but he tried his best. He was so excited. I really do feel like they was all going to go out for drinks to celebrate. Hey, you finally wrote Megan up. Not! He wrote on that thing, and I would read it. I said, let me read it before I sign it, because if I don't sign it, that means I don't agree to it, and the rest is just between you and HR. I remember he tried to write me up or something. I was like, where in the handbook does it say that I can't do this? Because what you telling me that I can't do is not in the handbook. So how am I supposed to know that I can't do this? What you can do is give me a warning, but you can't give me no write-up off that. Man, that man walked off so pissed. Wisdom comes from God. Anyways, long story short, them folks got fed up with me, with my little black self. So they transferred me out to this store where they barely made money. Man, I missed them commission checks, but my check was still pretty good. Like, anyways, transferred me out to this store. I'm working there for about a month. I really didn't want to go, but at the same time, the airport was toxic anyway. So they was going to transfer me, I was going to quit. They transferred me to a store. And I remember working with this black manager who pretended like she was for me and everything, but she was just a snake because she worked for Enterprise. Duh. She was a snake too. She just had on a different face. Long story short, she did some like shady stuff under my number because I gave her my number. And they ended up coming in, the managers ended up coming in and like doing their interview and stuff, and she gonna tell me what to say, and here go my little dumb black gullible self going in there trying to cover for her. And then the lady hit me with, well, she told me it was you, and I was like, what? That's what she told you? I said, oh, okay. I had already made up my mind, I'm gonna go ahead and go, because I ain't gonna need to stand to fight this. It was one day, like, that was the day after they had told me they was doing this investigation or whatever, and I just remember hearing God tell me, okay, you can leave now. And I said, okay, let me finish writing these folks' tickets. I said, you get a discount, you get a discount, you get a free day, you get a free tank of gas. And then by the time I got to that last customer, fear started creeping in. He said, how you gonna pay your bills? If you quit your job now, what are you gonna do? Da-da-da-da-da. So I chickened out. And I chickened out and I stayed for 2 more weeks. And when I tell y'all, them were the worst 2 weeks of my life. Like, when I tell y'all God made me feel that, I really believe God had me feel that or whatever. He had me feel that. Just so I know, like, next time he tell me to do something, do it. It ain't your place to worry about how this or that gonna work out. So they claim this investigation is going on. I don't hear nothing back from them folks. I just feel like they was just looking for a reason to fire me or whatever. So I think on that day that I left, that's when they had come back and they was like, we're trying to see, we're going to keep you. And I just remember going in there. I said, okay, I'm going to go take my lunch. I took a lunch and I never went back. And then I went and put my resignation letter in the mailbox of the lady at HR. I'm skipping through so many parts, but we're just going to do another video because I'm ready to wrap this up. I ended up going and putting my resignation letter in the box at the headquarters, period. And I just texted the girl who I knew worked at HR. She was a black girl. And she said, oh, yeah, she came and read it and she was done with it. So, boom, I was like, all right, cool. Y'all, that was in March. I think that was in March of 2019. It was like during the summer month or whatever. And I remember I was like, dang, God, how am I gonna pay my bills? I had savings or whatever. And I was like, dang, God, what am I gonna do? And next thing you know, I was talking to this dude at the time who I did not like. I just remember seeing this Facebook post from this girl, this lady, and she said if she could give tips as a 30-something-year-old woman, she could give tips to her 20-something, I think 22-year-old self. She said this is what she would say. I was reading through the list, and I remember one of the things she said on the list was give the squares a chance. And let me just say, y'all, whoever that lady is, ladies, shut up. Okay, ain't nobody listening to you. Don't y'all listen to them mix. Because let me tell y'all something that I learned from dating a square. You date a square know they a square. Just because they a square don't mean that they a good fit for you. Because let me tell you what I learned from dating a square. You date that square dude, he knows that he's a square. And so what he's going to do is he's going to go about like getting you and playing you a different way. He can't come at you as the dude who not a square, like a dude that's popular, a dude that's really fine. He ain't gotta do that. He gonna play he gonna just play the part and gonna play you. That's it. Like, just because a dude is square don't mean he ain't gonna play you. It's a character thing. And if a man don't have character, he don't fear God, then it ain't nothing stopping him from dogging you, period. So to that lady, if you ever come across this video, I want to let you know from the bottom of my heart, you need to shut up and take that darn post down, period. Anyway, so I'm talking to this dude at the time. I'm telling him what's going on. And he was like, dang, that's messed up. He was like a yes man. He would agree with me on anything. That's another video too. Anyways, long story short, he was working as a temp at this office in Memphis. He put me on with his recruiter, and I got a job working as a temp at the place. Ooh, that was the worst job ever, y'all. And like, I just remember thinking to myself, God, how could you let this happen? What are you doing? And he literally told me, he said, you wasn't supposed to take that job. That job didn't come from me. You didn't ask me for help. You went to him. And I was like, dang, my bad, God. Why you ain't say nothing? So some stuff happened, but my contract wasn't even supposed to end until 3 months later. No, until like 6 months later. My contract ended in 3 months. Like, everywhere I went, I had some type of with somebody, and I would never be knowing these folks. And I'm like, God, what is going on? Why every time I go somewhere, these folks be seeming like they want to beef with me? So boom, this time I had left my job in June, July, August, September. Boom, left that. My contract ended in July. I was so hurt because the lady who ended my contract, she was just being so petty. And remember, I told y'all that I was real big on respect. Like, I talk with hands, not this. And she was like being so petty. Like, I could be real with y'all. A lot of the mean treatment that I've experienced in corporate America, y'all may not like me when I say this, but the worst of the worst came from somebody who looked just like me. I don't know what it is with black people in leadership, with some black people in leadership. Y'all feel like y'all really gotta go hard. Like, no. And I kind of just feel like she hated me because I was beautiful. Like, I was young and I was beautiful. A lot of older people don't like young people for some reason. But hey, that's between you and God. So when that contract ended, I remember getting on my knees and I said, God, let the next job I get in accounting be from you, because I'm really almost done with it. I didn't even want this degree. My mama made me get this degree. I even asked you what degree I should get, and you didn't even tell me nothing. I wanted to be a dentist. Either you give me a job that's from you, or I'm gonna go back to school and be a dentist, because I'm tired of arguing with these white folks. That's literally what I say. So I'm tired of arguing with these white folks. So boom, I'm at home and I'm without a job. I'm unemployed. But this was the best time of my life because now I had a chance to actually read my Bible. And I remember I woke up one morning in my bed. I sat up in my bed and I was like, you know what? God, I've never really given you a chance. I cannot say that I've actually given you a chance. So you know what? I'm going to give you a chance. I'm like, God, you got 2 weeks to show me who you are to me. That's it. You got 2 weeks. And at the end of the day, I'm going to go full force these 2 weeks. I'm going to actually put forth an effort. I'm going to make sure I pray. I'm going to make sure I read my Bible. I'm going to talk to you. And at the end of those 2 weeks, if I don't encounter you or anything, I'm going to just go back to what I know. Period. I'm depending on you for a job. If you don't come through for me, then I'm going to just stick to what I know, which is me. Because I know I'm going to always look out for me. I know the streets. I know my way back in the street. I promise y'all this is literally the conversation I had to God with myself. So I hop up out of bed and I was like, okay, today going to be the first day that I kick it with you. I remember making up my bed and I lifted up my covers to like fluff up my bed, and as the covers come down, it's like a curtain dropped over my eyes. I literally saw a curtain drop on my eyes. It wasn't the sheets, but it's like, you know, like when somebody pulls something down and reveals something, they be like, shh, like a painting or something. That's literally how it's like a veil was removed from my eyes, and it's like I just got this, oh my gosh, type moment, and I was like, why didn't I think of this at first? Oh my gosh, I'm finna go do this. I'm finna go do this. So I started reading the Bible. I immediately started fasting. Like, I did a juice fast. Like, when I didn't eat nothing, I only drank juice. I did that. I made sure I served a lot. And I remember waking up that Sunday, and I was going to put forth an effort to start going to church. And so my church was 45 minutes. Remember I told y'all that the church we were attending was 45 minutes away at the time. So my sister had started going to this other church. And this is really the part that I really want to emphasize. And then I'm going to wrap it up, and then I could just do another video. So I just remember setting my alarm, because remember, I'm putting forth real effort now with these 2 weeks. And I just, somehow my alarm didn't go off. I know for a fact I set my alarm, but it didn't go off. So I'm like, dang, God, I'm sorry. I missed church. Because if you get left by my mama, you get left. If you wake up late, you know, because if you don't get to church on time or leave the house on time, you stay 45 minutes away, baby. It's going to be a point where it's just no point in you going if you don't miss the ride. You wake up 30 minutes late. By the time you get to church, it's over. So I was like, dang, I really wanted to go. Well, guess what? I wake up and I rush out. I'm over the balcony listening for my mom, and I hear my sister in the room getting ready. I'm like, wait a minute, why you didn't go to church? You didn't go to church with mama? She was like, oh no, mom didn't go to her church today. I asked her if it was okay if y'all come to church with me. I said, nobody told me nothing, but sure. I was so excited because my sister's church didn't start so early. Her church started like at 9:30. So literally I woke up at the perfect time to start getting dressed. So long story short, we get dressed, we get there. I'm so happy. I don't know how to describe it. I'm just so happy. And we pull up on a parking lot, and okay, hold up, God. Now, why I'm finna cry? Hold up now. We pull up on the parking lot, and I don't know how to describe it. All I just know is what I know now to be, it was just literally the presence of God. It was literally the presence of God that was on the parking lot. So boom, it's like a joy just over. I mean, I'm so happy, and I'm just like walking through the door. They got signs saying, we're so happy you here. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I've never seen anything like this before. So I'm just taking it all in. And I'll never forget when I walked through the door, the guy that was at the door, I really do believe this was an angel. This man was so tatted. Oh my goodness. If there was any blank place on his body, I was just so fascinated with all of his tattoos. Then he caught my eye, because I'm like thinking to myself, you're here? You have so many tattoos and you're here. And you wanna know what he said to me? He was like, hey, welcome. I am so glad that you're here, that you are here. Welcome to the Life Church. And I was like, me? I don't know what it was about him, but when he said that, I really feel like he just made me feel like he was talking directly to me. And then for me to see how tatted he was, he made me feel so welcome. Because honestly, I looked at him and I was like, dang, if you got all those tattoos, people be like, dang, you going to hell if you got all those tattoos. Me, I be smoking weed and popping cat. So I don't feel too embarrassed to be here right now. So I'm going in, and if I could be honest with you, I'm literally holding back tears as soon as I walk through the door. And I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm an OG, triple OG. God, why I'm finna cry? Y'all, ooh. We go into the sanctuary, and we get us a good seat. Everybody was just so nice. We go through worship. I could not hold back my tears. I'm crying literally the entire service. Finally, the pastor gets up. He gives his message, and I'm just like, I've never heard this before. He's literally talking about Jesus, and I'm like, I thought I knew Jesus. My goodness, who is this person? He finally opens he does like an altar call, but it's not for us to come down. He says, I just need to know who I'm praying for. If you want to give your life to Christ, maybe you gotten saved before, but you left him and you want to just come back, I just need you to put a hands up. Everybody's heads were bowed. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I was one of the first hands to go up. The pastor was like, oh, wow. He was like, there you go. Lift your hands up, Pastor. I think I caught him off guard. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I was like, yes, I want to get to know Jesus. So, bawling my eyes out, y'all. Like, I don't like to cry in front of people. So I'm like right here by my mom and my sister. And I'm like, I do not want these people to see me crying. Like, when I tell you I couldn't hold back tears through that second song during worship, I just let it fall. I was just like, whatever, it is what it is. Y'all, shot my hand up, got saved. She had me like fill out a card because there are cards in the, okay, hold on, Holy Ghost. There were cards in the back of the seat that you fill out if you were like a first time member. I filled it out, turned it in, and they had a book and like a free Starbucks gift card for the people that joined. I was like, oh snap. So it got me a little bit more excited to join. And I remember this lady telling me, she was like, thank you, welcome. What did she say? Oh yeah, and this is the thing that I loved about them. I love that they was like, typically when you get saved, people just think, okay, you prayed the prayer of salvation, that's it. He was like, no, because I know you got questions. It's more to it than that. These folks gave us this book, and I read this book. I was so excited because I unexpectedly fasted. Like, God just led me into a fast after that. And I was so obsessed with him. They were like, it takes you about 7 days because I think it's 7 chapters in here. Y'all, I finished in 3 because I did a 3-day fast. And I was like, no, I'm finna read this because I really want to know who he is. I learned about Jesus. I learned about Holy Spirit. And it just made me obsessed with the Bible. So I just like started eating the Bible. I remember I would read the Bible up until like I'm falling asleep like this. And I'm like, no. And I would get so mad at myself. I'm like, will you wake up? We got to figure out what's going on. We have to finish the Bible. Like, I wanted to finish all 66 books in one night because I just like fell in love with the word of God. And oh my goodness. After that, yeah. So it's just been us ever since. Man, I love God. I could look back. I have so many more stories I can tell. Like, especially when I was in the world and how, like, God came through for me. But that's just, like, how I got saved. It was unexpectedly. And to this day, I know without a shadow of doubt, I set my alarm to go to the other church. But it just goes to show, like, how God, like, what he did that for me. Man, that's so cool. Man, that is just so cool. Just thinking back on that anyway. So that's just how I got saved. How I ended up getting saved. That's my story. That's my spiel. Yeah. I got saved. Has it been easy? No. But would I do that all over again if I knew it was going to lead me to Christ? Absolutely. Man, I love God so much. I'm really, really thankful because, of course, I give y'all the spiel. Like, God really blessed me to be a part of the church. When I tell y'all, I thank God for the pastor that set the church that God led me to join, because one thing he taught me to do was to read the Bible and study to show myself approved. It'll be like major things going on in the world. He's like, one thing we don't do like churches, we don't go by what our moms say. We don't go by what culture says. What does the Bible say? And I just love, like, God truly he gave me a hunger for his word. Like, the pastor would be the pastor would be speaking and teaching, and I would be taking notes. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Bible says this, and I could not wait to go home and read it. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, the Bible says this. I'll read the whole book. So yeah, that's how I got saved. That's just a little spiel. So much. I don't know. I really do hope this I really do hope this video like help somebody, touch somebody, give y'all spill. This was like a very, very summed up version. I do apologize if I was rambling. I hope y'all understood what I was saying, because I feel like I was all over the place. I just didn't want this video to be too long. If I need to do another one, I don't mind, because I love talking about God. I love telling people about what I used to, where I came from. I got so many stories I could tell y'all. I could tell y'all about the time I had this book, and it was a witchcraft book, and I didn't know it, but God revealed it to me. I could tell y'all about the time where I worked at the studio with these famous rappers, and how God got me up out of that. I got so many stories I could tell y'all. Man, oof. Relationship stories, life stories, just scenarios, like situations, real life situations of how, like, God came through for me, and like how God revealed himself. I could tell y'all about the time when I was in college, and this is me out here living crazy. I'm out in the world, and how God protected me. He blessed us to be at the right place at the right time. I remember being in a car and these men walking with something so heavy. He walking with a limp that man couldn't even carry. Went into the party. We sitting outside. Go in there, light that place up. I could tell y'all about the time where we was in college. We all was about to go to a party, and this girl walked up to my roommate and tell her, like, I don't know you, and I know this may sound crazy, but God told me to tell you not to go out tonight. And everybody shook. We like, who finna go out after hearing that? But some girls in the group was still like, no, let's go. I could tell y'all about the time where that night we were supposed to go out and go to that affair, that party, and 4 girls got shot up. And all the places, like, where they were supposed to be sitting at, that's where the girl got shot. They had the videos posted on Twitter and everything, and we all was just shook. We was like, dang, this was the party we wanted to go to, and we didn't go. God protected us. Like, I could tell y'all stories like that, like how God really came through. I could tell you about the story of one night on my birthday. I was so turned up, and later I remember hearing a voice, which I know to be the devil now. He tried to get me to, like, overdose on alcohol, because you can get alcohol poisoning. I was just taking them back, and I just remember hearing this voice saying, keep going. And I remember being on the floor. I just felt like I was down. I said, God, don't let me go out like this. Not like this. I could tell y'all about the time where I literally overdosed. I think it was an overdose on weed, because I hit the blunt, and the blunt hit me, and it hit me too hard, and I remember passing out. And the revelation that God gave me, like, when he told me I was supposed to die on the floor, I could tell y'all stories like that. Man, my life goes on. Like, my life is literally a walking testimony. I could tell you about the goodness of God. That was me before I got saved. I could tell you all the goodness and the mercy of God that I've experienced and encountered since I've been saved in Christ. I could tell you about the time God blessed me to win a $100,000 car. I could tell you about the time God blessed me to get this house. I could tell you about the time God blessed me with a $20,000 check. I could tell y'all, like, how God blessed me with a job, or how the lady said that God told her to hire me. She didn't give nobody else the application, submit nobody else's application but mine. See, I could tell y'all stuff like that. See, y'all just let me know what y'all want to hear. You feel me? They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of their testimony. I have no problem telling people where I came from. Did I used to pop cat? Absolutely. Did I used to smoke weed? Absolutely. And if I could be honest with you, I liked it. Okay? It was this one pastor who tried to make me feel ashamed about telling, like, what I used to do. I was like, why? Why would I feel ashamed about that? So you could literally see, like, what God has done, where he's brought me, and everything that he's doing in my life now. Never ever feel ashamed about your past. Never ever let nobody feel ashamed about your past. He was like, I ain't gonna put your business all out there. Nigga, it's my business. I'm putting my own business out there. Like, what? Anyways, so yeah, I'm an open book. Y'all let me know what y'all want to hear. I really do hope this helped y'all. And the main point I want to highlight in this video was the fact that I had gone to that church, and that man was tatted up. And that's why y'all shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Never judge a book by its cover. Some people be talking about, oh, you shouldn't have a piercing. You shouldn't have your ears pierced. You got tattoos. You going to hell. You wearing pants. You going to hell. That's man-made doctrine right there. They looking at the outside. God look at the heart. I thank God that man with those tattoos was at that door, because at first I was feeling so unworthy. I felt so disgusted to be there. But when I saw that man, I really do believe that man was an angel. I can tell y'all the times where I've encountered angels. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that man was an angel. Like, God put him at that door just for me, because he's all-knowing. He knows us better than we know ourselves. He knows, like, what we need. He knows what's going to get our attention. He knows, you know, the people that we need to encounter. Because was I hearing people talk about Jesus Christ from time to time all throughout my life up to that moment in 2019 when I actually dedicated my life to Christ? Absolutely. But it was just something about this man. That man had to be in place so that Megan could get saved. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just amazing how God uses people to reach that one person. And I'm just so grateful that he chose me. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video so I could get off camera and cry my eyes out and just thank God for who he is and who he's been in my life. And yeah, I really do hope this helped y'all for real. Like, I really do hope like this helped y'all, because it just helped me again. Like, it reignited a fire in me. It just reminded me of a beautiful love story. Like, you know, like how couples tell their love story or how they met. This is me telling my love story of how I met Jesus. And it's just so cute. So anyways, that's all I got to say. Bye, y'all.